Lovecraftian nature. All those said to gaze upon his work ultimately fell into a pit of despair. Their minds slack, their bodies taut, their nature turned to madness. Why? He asked. Why have you come? This is my solitude, my prison. Unless you wish to be destroyed, leave at once. She stood, undeterred. She needed to accomplish her task. The heads of the company promised if she delivered the mission to the Chosen One, she'd become a lead designer of Final Fantasy 19, a prospect too tempting to pass over. She said. And what of my wishes? He asked. I was placed in this chamber due to my work on Melody of Memory. What desire do I have to provide work for the ignorant masses? The chained man sat there for a few brief moments. Silence filled the room, broken by a light chuckle. Such a horrifying prospect. A collective monopoly on all of entertainment. And he laughed just like it was all a joke to him. Then I can create it! Ha ha! He said. I can make my ideal Kingdom Hearts sequel! Finally, he stood. The mere act of moving displayed raw power. Each footstep shook the floor beneath him, reverberated around the room, and shortened her lifespan. He inched closer, step by step, until he stood in her face. The key. Right! She came in here to free him. The handcuffs were comically oversized, but had no keyhole. Even if it did, her key was too big, too unwieldy. It never fitted. Unless the key held a secret mechanic. Wait! She figured it out. The club-like design, the handle, the fact the company handed her a key specifically for Nomura. A keyblade! A keyblade unlocked any lock! She giggled with glee, the glee of a little schoolgirl. They were playing a joke on her! Nomura did not laugh in return. She decided to have fun with it. She twirled the key around, spinning it in her hands with the enthusiasm of an anime protagonist, before gently bopping the restraints with the tip of the key. As expected, whether through technology or magic, they landed on the floor with a thud. The key followed soon after, no longer having a purpose. This is a serious matter, said Nomura. I don't know why you seem to be enjoying yourself so much. Oh, it wasn't a joke. The people in this company were simply insane.
I deeply apologize for my actions,
Said Nishizono. She accentuated her words with a bow that nearly took her to the floor.
I don't know what came over me, but it will never happen again.
Laura didn't seem too upset. He rubbed his chin and slowly paced around her, taking in her apology and analyzing her. No, perhaps enthusiasm such as that is sorely missed these days. You may be perfect for the job at hand. From Hammerspace, Nomura produced a laptop. The keys were worn, the technology old. It still had buttons, the biggest indicator of when he got locked up. Within this computer holds the entire script of Kingdom Hearts 4. I wrote it while imprisoned, envisioned the day the news would arrive to me. Not only does it cross over between our original characters, Final Fantasy, and Disney, but it also includes characters from all franchises I deemed fit to tell the necessary story. Sure enough, held within the files was a document labeled Kingdom Hearts 4.doc. Opening it produced a 3,000-plus page story, filled with images of every character featured in the upcoming game. She didn't recognize most of them. Did all of these characters exclusively exist from before his sentence? The first, Xemnas, she knew. Though the choice of Xemnas himself was strange. Company policy dictated she at least familiarize herself with the characters they owned. She knew that the main villain was Xehanort, Xemnas a mere side villain, and and the true protagonist was Sora. The second, a Sentai character she knew nothing of. The art style, its distinct coloring. After a few moments, she knew it to be an American character. A Power Ranger. The third she blanked on entirely. An anime character she knew nothing of. Not even a hint. She had a cute hat, though. The skull really tied her whole outfit together.
Do you wish for me to read this?
Asked Nishizono. Yes, said Nomura. The light in your life, it is not yet extinguished. You may be the only one who can read it all. If you finish this in its entirety and tell me your thoughts, I will consider that sufficient and grant you the position in this company that you desire. The offer struck her in her heart. He knew exactly what she wanted. Reading the script for a game in exchange for designing her own Final Fantasy? The deal, too good to be true, ensnared her instantly. She trapped herself in Nomura's devil magic. One paragraph at a time, she'd read the story from beginning to end and ensure she didn't get drawn in.
You have a deal, Mr. Nomura.
Her naive youth gave her the exact confidence needed to scroll down the page with a smile. She skipped over all the technical design aspects and gameplay prompts until she reached the first chapter, the beginning of it all. The prologue. Ta-da!
Chapter 2, Prologue. The Struggle to Understand Nothing. Part 2. Do you want me to take over for the narration for this chapter?
I have food sitting next to me getting cold.
I can. All right, I'll narrate. Prologue. The Struggle to Understand Nothing, Part 2. Okay.
This is your section, actually, anyway, so that's perfect.
Oh, yeah, this is. The war between light and darkness waged on for ages. Since time immemorial, the two sides clashed in a never-ending battle. No matter how hard the darkness surpassed its limits, the light kept it in check, as there were two sides of the same coin. In essence, this meant that no matter how hard the darkness struggled, it never surpassed the light. As long as they played fair, the light would always win. But nobody ever said the dark had to play fair. The warriors of light took many forms. Magic users who learned directly from the king, knights who gave their lives to ensure the safety of his majesty, chosen wielders of the Keyblade, and a new branch of fighters formed after Sora's key victory over Xehanort, the Power Rangers. Young teenagers with attitude pulled all across the multiverse from various different worlds, brought together to be prepared in case of another threat like Xehanort. For the most part, they dealt with petty heartless skirmishes, but they were exemplar heroes who saved the world on numerous occasions. Of all the Power Rangers in history, those who exist and those yet to, Tommy Oliver proved to be the strongest of them all. His continuous efforts to stop evil in its track were what made him a key warrior in the side of light. At a decisive point in his life, Tommy had to make a choice, much like many other warriors before him. He chose incorrectly. For a brief moment, when offered the strength to stop evil entirely, he gave himself up to the darkness, transforming into a Heartless. While a Heartless, he made numerous foolish decisions, stealing the power of the White Ranger, harming his friends, giving them potentially fatal wounds in battle, taking dozens of powers into himself for further strength, becoming injured as his body didn't have the fortitude to withstand such strength. Due to his affinity with the light and the friends he made along the way, he eventually overcame this and returned to his senses. All of these sins he committed ate away at Tommy to this very day. With his newfound fortitude, he vows to never let the darkness overtake him again. But Tommy still made a grave error. When a body is devoid of a heart, a vessel is left behind. Even if that vessel is quickly obtained, it still existed at one point in time. And time, well, time is a fickle concept. The second Tommy Oliver, an inverse of the first, suddenly woke up in a sterile white room. He awoke in the world that never was. He remembered a great battle, a scream, a flash of light. And then he was here. His identity, his ideals, they came to him in waves, being erased and reformed in the mind as he stood. Two other individuals occupied the room with him, both seated on high-rising thrones. They looked down on him as if he were an ant. It sickened him. The first, a brazen young girl who shamelessly lounged on her throne, legs over the armrests, surrounded by stuffed bears and rabbits and other such childish toys. Her pink hair settled on her face, fashioned in a manner befitting an ordinary girl her age, but her outfit told a different tale. A conductor's uniform, all white and littered with 3 black stars, made complete by a tall hat adorned with a rattling skull. "Who's this bozo?" she asked. The skull talked as she did. He disliked her already. The second proved more interesting and much more mysterious. A man, tall and imposing by stature, wearing a long black coat that dangled past his arms and legs, a hood concealing his face from view.
The one who represents the Black Dragon.
He spoke. His voice came out as smooth as velvet, the words long and drawn out. Tommy knew in that moment this man held great power. "A dragon?" asked the girl. "It looks more like a lizard to me. Just the guy who scurried out of his hole and doesn't know where to go."
Who's Tommy?
Pike.
I can't believe you've done this.
Pike, you're ruining it. You're Tommy.
Okay, sorry.
Tommy is Lord Draken. You're Tommy.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Who are you two?
Asked Tommy.
I was in the middle of important business, and I loathe to stay here any longer.
Who are we?
Asked the man.
We are the border between life and death. Those who are rejected by the world yet cling on to despise despite its wishes. We are the remnant of better days long since past.
"I think he meant our names, dummy," said the girl. "Just call me Nanan Jakuzure. You're gonna be stuck here for a while. Better get ready to work."
Indeed. Oh,
That's
Indeed, a name is important, is it not?
said the man.
I go by many names, ones long forgotten to the world. For now you may call me Zephyrus. I am the leader, and I wish for you to fill.
An organization. The concept alone made him want to leave immediately. He learned firsthand that true strength came from within, not from relying on others. Yet the flair, the thrones, the man in front of him, it all intrigued him.
Do you truly wish to be Tully Oliver any longer?
Asked Zemnis. The question struck at his heart. Here he was, pondering the deal offered, when a swerve made him question his entire sense of self. He had been born in this moment as Tommy, but did he enjoy it? Did he consider himself one and the same as the past self he cast aside?
what the hell's that supposed to mean? I'm me, aren't I?
In a sense of the word, you are, but you aren't. Tell me, is Tommy Oliver not a warrior of the light? Unlike you, is Tommy not a man who relies solely on his friend's strength and never his own? Is Tommy not a man who adamantly refuses to do what he needs to be done in this world? Look very closely at who you are, and proclaim it. You are a different entity entirely. You are your own.
You're cutting out like every other word. Do you want to try it? Do you want to try the last line again?
No.
Okay. He wasn't a weak, pathetic Power Ranger. Every action he took was to further his goals, to unite the world under him. Tommy Oliver wasn't strong enough to take the necessary actions. Tommy Oliver was a weak, pathetic fool.
Your name is Tommy no longer. You will bear the name of the one who holds the sigil, one befitting your honor. From this day onward, you will be referred to as Lord Draken.
Lord Draken. He let the name settle in his mind. It had a nice ring to it.
What do I get out of this?
Asked Lord Draken.
Why should I offer my indomitable strength to you?
I can guarantee you with certainty, Lord Draken, you join the organization and follow the plan set out before you, all of your wishes will come true. we will have the same goal after all.
The same goal? That meant only one thing.
We will take Kingdom Hearts for else, though.
Twilight Town, a small world located in the deeper reaches of the solar system. A population of less than 500, very few knew of this place. As the name suggested, when the sun illuminated the sky, the entire landscape appeared bathed in a blanket of twilight, and eternal dusk for its citizens. Two figures emerged from a portal opened in the middle of the city square. Nanan Jakazure skipped out of her portal, excited to finally be out of the dull chamber. Lord Draken left his portal adorned in his white ranger armor. His new spandex outfit accentuated his muscular body, hints of green strokes and gold embellishments across the suit to truly exert his authority upon others. His helmet obscured his face entirely. None deserved to see it unless he willed it. He had joined the organization. Xemnas proved to be quite persuasive. "Why are we here again?" asked Nanan. "This looks like a lame town filled with boring losers. Is there actually anything for us in a place like this?"
Xemnas gave explicit orders on who we are to find. We will conquer this world, the first of many, and discover the 5 warriors laid out in front of us on our path.
Go out, seize, and conquer many worlds. Along the way, warriors will be placed in your path. Find the one who represents the light. Find the one who represents the darkness. Find the one who represents reality. Find the one who represents unreality. Find the one who represents nothingness. When all 5 of these combined, the path to One Piece will open. When the One Piece is attained, access to Kingdom Hearts will be granted. When they gain the power granted to them by Kingdom Hearts, none can stand in the way of the organization's schemes. Despite the ordinary nature of the town, no citizens roamed the streets, no vendors lined the sidewalk, no birds chirped in the air. A quick scan of his surroundings answered why. "Meet a real, genuine princess," read a sign. At exactly this time, a presentation featuring a princess from another world would begin. Within the show, she'd talk all about the struggles she went through and how she found true love and other such nonsense. "One day I'll meet my princess," said Nanan. "But that day isn't today. Want to crash this joint?" Crash that joint they did. Wordlessly, Draken made his way to the show, taking keen note of the layout of the streets and buildings while he walked. This place would soon be his. He intended to be intimately familiar with its workings. Around a corner, through a plaza, up some stairs, across a bridge, through a train station, and finally they arrived at a rundown section of the town. A makeshift wooden stage for plays stood alone against the wall, with only a few chairs to watch the show. Nanan stole one immediately and pulled out a cell phone, uninterested in the events at hand. On stage, surrounded by animal critters and excited children, a Disney princess stood, unworried about the world around her. In the past, the organization considered using her as a vessel of light in case the plan to form the Keyblade, spelled with an X, naturally. The Keyblade failed, but they no longer had a use for her, which meant no one was left to complain if they eliminated Rapunzel, Princess of Corona. "Oh, hey, a Power Ranger," said Rapunzel. Her bubbly voice acted as poison to his ears. "Didn't know they had white ones. Are you here to watch the show too?"
This town is now the property of Lord Draken. I demand that all citizens surrender immediately, subjugate themselves to my will, and give up the so-called princess to us at once.
The people looked at him confused. They didn't comprehend his words. They were sheep, ignorant masses who didn't understand the dangers of this world. "Hey, is this some kind of joke?" asked Rapunzel. "We didn't really plan a fake villain for this event." They took him for a fool, a jester, a clown. They knew not the might of Draken. He intended on correcting this. He grasped onto the nearest person, a young woman barely in her 20s, and held a blade to her throat. The sword pressed into her skin, careful not to draw any blood. As long as he remained placated, none would misconstrue the threat at this point.
I will not repeat myself. Meet my demands, or I will slaughter the people of this town, one by one. Starting with this girl here.
Every man, woman, and child raised their hands to surrender, though the children giggled as if this was all part of the show. Rapunzel, the princess with hair long enough to drag again along the floor for yards as she walked, made her way over to Draken.
I see you were wise enough to comply with my orders. This is how people should be.
Her next move caught him off guard completely when a frying pan smacked him smack in the face, separating him from his hostage from sheer shock.
What? You dare?
I might be a dainty little princess, said Rapunzel, but I will not let you hurt anyone on my watch. I'll show you just how strong a princess can be. No matter. He'd wiped the floor with her. Xemnas' orders were merely to find her. Any interpretation after that was up to his whims. The blade he used as a threat, the one with a white dragon hilt, slashed at her throat. He'd stained that pink dress of hers crimson. Only his blade didn't pierce and render her flesh to tear her limb from limb. It collided with his hair and bounced off? Her golden locks glowed a beautiful blonde and formed an impenetrable wall. Again and again he swung and swung, desperate to claw out the eyes of this woman who now humiliated him by ruining his show of strength. His blade did nothing at all, delivered not a single scratch, not even a single strand cut through for all of his efforts.
This useless, infernal sword.
If the weapons bestowed upon him by Zordon were ineffective, he needed to rely on his own raw physicals. A punch fired at the speed of sound aimed for the girl's head, but not even a blow of that caliber bypassed the hair. He retracted his fist, or attempted to, and found himself tangled in her web of golden locks. Rapunzel smiled at him a little too cheerfully. If you think I can't use this hair as a weapon, you're in for a world of hurt, said Rapunzel. His other free hand punched at her. The princess, more cunning than he gave her credit for, formed a part of her hair into a lasso, caught his wrist in midair, and stopped his momentum completely. Tugging proved ineffective. The light seeping through his restraints kept him bound. His blood boiled, his teeth clattered, his emotions erupted at once. The darkness promised him power to defeat any foe that stood in his way. So why was he unable to overcome the light?
Nanan,
He screamed.
will you continue to be useless thorn in my side all this time? Or will you finally prove your worth and give me a reason to not exterminate you immediately?
The girl looked up from her endless phone scrolling, aware he needed help, unaware she should care. With a yawn, "Aww." She stood up, stretched her arms, her legs, her knees, her wrists, to really rub in her freedom of motion. What's this? The lizard actually needs my help? I thought you were a big and mighty dragon who'd do this all on his own. Fine. I guess I'll be generous and lend my hand once in a while. Rapunzel threw her hair out to entangle Nanan as well, recognizing her as a threat. But she predicted the trajectory and sidestepped the attack faster than she could comprehend, moving as if entirely unanimated. Rapunzel's hair limply fell to the floor. Is that all you've got? She's asked. This'll be a cinch. Prepare to be destroyed cheerfully, jauntily, and completely one-sidedly. Nanan took a battle stance, ready to unleash her power on the girl in front of her. She pulled out a baton and pointed it at Rapunzel, and did not attack whatsoever. She moved to the side, then up, then back down, swung it around to and fro, and performed a show entirely for herself. Then they arrived. Entrance, march! Window shutters unfolded, doors kicked open, sewer gates removed themselves. From behind stop signs, from under benches, from the branches of trees. 1 dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen, same-faced, pigtailed women all wearing identical uniforms, operated out of thin air. Their skirts short and gray, their shirts similarly dull with a star insignia. All appeared gleeful to be in Nanan's presence. They formed a wall in front of her. 6 women in each row, each holding a different musical instrument. From the front, their flutes tooted, and their tubas honked, and their drums drummed, and their violins twanged, and their cymbals clashed, and their trumpets screeched, and together their musical harmony combined to play a perfect cover rendition of Beethoven's 7th Symphony, 2nd movement. Oh, that was a mouthful. Nan turned her back to Rapunzel to lead her choir with perfect precision. She became the very foundation of their playing. The music, truth be told, was nothing short of excellent, which only further confused the princess from the sheer contrast of intent and action. Something's missing, though, said Nanan. She pondered this before her face contorted into a wretched smile, when not even a mother could laugh. Oh, yeah, the music could go a lot better with your screams of agony. Oh, give me a second, I need water.
I was gonna say, I was like, there's a break. It's a break right there. You can
Okay.
Breathe.
Oh my gosh.
It's hard. It's hard.
Heart-shaped shockwaves created from the sound of the tubas and the beat of the drums left the choir. It reverberated across the whole stage, a sickening bass that made the weak men vomit on the spot. The building behind Rapunzel collapsed immediately, its foundation destroyed from constant wear and tear of the musical notes. The shockwaves went for more buildings, a pizzeria, a skateboard shop, a flower shop, each reduced to pure rubble from one blast of Nanan's orchestra. Slowly, the sound changed course, aimed directly at the princess instead of the world around her. A display of power felt appropriate to inform her how thoroughly she'd die if a shot hit her. Releasing her prisoner as Draken was forced to, she untangled all of her hair to form a perfect shield. Not even music had the capacity to penetrate magic. Rapunzel was knocked back several meters, blasted into a wall hard enough to indent the entire structure permanently with a display of love. But she was entirely unharmed. That didn't mean she wished to get any Oh my god. That didn't mean she wished to get hit any longer. Nanan cackled, howled into the sky as she watched Rapunzel run. Every building she ran towards for shelter was destroyed on sight. She fled for her life in a sick cat and mouse game, where the musician toyed with her life. Every villain had a contingency plan. Distraction worked perfectly as intended. Rapunzel ran herself around in a corner. Each explosion was placed precisely to divert the princess, make her run in the direction they wanted from their cursory glance of the town, to make her believe she chose her own path of salvation. When she ran down an alley far from Nanan's sight, she had no chance of knowing at that moment it was a dead end. No way out, just a small passage nestled between two buildings, unless she intended to humiliate herself and hide inside a trash can for safety. Draken walked in front of the path, blocking escape from all fronts. He prepared for his rematch to regain his honor. Rapunzel threw her hair once more, but Draken was no fool. He learned through experience to never let a failure occur twice. With one hand, he snatched her locks out of the air and gripped them tightly. He controlled her now. "Classic bad guy move," she said. "Don't you know heroes are supposed to beat villains?"
Perhaps in your fairy tale world,
said Draken.
but this is my world now, which means we play by my rules.
A being as strong as him wouldn't falter to a lone girl. With his free hand, he delicately grabbed a strand of this elusive, invincible hair between his fingers and yanked with all his strength. It resisted at first, but a single strand, no matter how durable, was only as strong as the scalp of the person it belonged to. She screamed in pain, "Ah!" But the flesh didn't resist his pull.
If the light has the power to surpass my own strength, then I'll steal the power of the light itself.
He held the hair to his morpher belt. Many times in the past, after defeating a pathetic ranger, he stole their powers and abilities, enhancing his own. Now, none stood up to his sheer might. This was no different. The hair's colors faded as the belt absorbed its very essence into itself. Draken screamed out in pain. The task of gaining more and more power weighed heavily on his health, each new ability taking years off his lifespan. But he didn't care. He needed to ensure he accomplished his goals, no matter the cost. He clutched at his chest, clawed at his heart to placate it, and breathed heavily. One heart spasm was not enough to stop Lord Draken. When the physical torment subsided, he knew he had won. The luster of the princess's hair dimmed, the golden energy of the hair physically making its way towards Draken. She had no way to harm him any longer. Her hair was as looseless as the rest of her. With her strength negated and no way to fight back, she dropped to the floor and cowered like a frightened child. She fell, as all warriors of the light soon would. "Why?" asked Rapunzel. "Why did you do all of this?"
When I become the new ruler of Twilight Town, there will be martial law, strict curfews, a watchful eye upon every corner. I will snub out any hints of treachery within these city walls by crushing it before it occurs.
This is a peaceful town. No one has ever attacked it before. No one but you!
And I shall be the first and last foe this realm ever faces.
You're terrible, she said. A mean person. I bet you're only like this because you've never had anyone to care about. You think people are going to worship you like a king? You're nothing more than a bully,
That's cute.
said Draken.
I'll be sure to remember that. Unfortunately, after today, history will no longer remember you.
Draken took off his helmet, exposing his face to the world. His handsome appearance was ruined by horrific scars that ran along his jawline, stretching to his neck and the body beneath the suit. All of his power took its permanent toll on him. What was one more? His hair glowed and lengthened. No longer did he have a paltry sum of brown hair that stopped at his shoulders. His new hair length rivaled Rapunzel herself, glowing an even brighter blonde. All the injuries on his body faded, overshowered by the raw power he radiated. Any who looked upon him would recognize him as truly and completely beautiful.
Look on the face of your savior,
Said Draken.
and know the fact he has spared you this day. As a mercy he will not grant twice.
His sword glowed an otherworldly hue. Every color in the visible spectrum surrounded it, and, with a mighty swing, unleashed all at once. The energy blast cut into Rapunzel, clashed against the formerly invincible hair, and sliced right through. Those golden locks that extended for tens of feet were severed at neck length. Their luster within dimmed, and her hair faded into a crispy brown. Tears formed in her eyes, her power now completely eradicated. But Draken didn't let it end there. With one final kick to her midsection, he sent her through the alley wall and flying across the town. Through the window of one house and the back wall, into a grand clock and past the gears. 4 more buildings she fell through until gravity took its natural course and settled her into the rubble of a restaurant, destroying it the second she landed inside. He looked upon his work and smiled. Never again would anyone in this town betray him. After taking one step forwards, his knees buckled. A voice appeared in his head. This power, it didn't come from his hair. It came from a source. He only realized this as that very source spoke to him. You weren't like this, Tommy. You can change if you try. And as quickly as it came, the voice faded away. He understood now. The power of a Disney princess. It made you stronger in every way possible. But it wasn't meant for evil hands. The universe was trying to correct itself. To correct him. He'd have to beat the universe into shape. Draken returned to the stage where this all began. Bricks and rubble littered the floor, homes permanently destroyed from Nanan's assault. Adults muttered amongst themselves, not sure how to handle the situation. Children cheered and huddled around Nanan's band to get autographs. Nanan sat alone, sucking on a lollipop without a care in the world. She took one look at Draken and his hair that dragged along the floor as he walked and burst into a fit of laughter. Oh man, she said, you look just like a pretty little princess. Oh my god! Draken grimaced, clenched his jaw to suppress the desire to slice her down immediately. Loath as he was to admit, despite her attitude, she did assist in battle quite admirably. She deserved at least one compliment.
You were a lot less useless than I expected.
Said Draken. What's that supposed to mean? Said Nanan, anger replacing all joy in her face. He took small pleasure in ruining her happiness. Now that you're all good looking, you think you're all tough, don't you? Said Nanan.
This power, while great, utterly disgusts me. Even now I can feel it, its ever-encroaching goodness flow through my veins, as if some deity is trying to contact me, trying to live vicariously through me.
Oh, what's the matter? Asked Nanan. You hate the idea of being a pretty like a girl?
No, quite the opposite. I need more princess power. I will do as Zemnis asks if conquering other worlds means encountering more princesses, furthering the strength of my for my own means. Gaining contact with this being that resides within, then I will do.
And what's the plan once you've done that? Once you're the fairest maiden in all the lands? Lord Draken extended a hand into the open, creating a portal back to the world that never was. He looked upon the destroyed town from his skirmish. Later, he'd return to this place and rule over it with an iron fist. The buildings would be repaired. The town would erect a statue of him in the center, so they'd all know who to obey. He saw it now, the first step on his conquest of the universe. He knew what he must do.
I will kill this figure who believes they can control Lord Draken. I will destroy the one above us all, who allowed the world to exist in this state. And I will become a god.
Beautiful.
Wow. Fucking A. Pike, the only thing I will say is I think you're going like too into the voice. It's like, so I don't know if anyone caught it. When Melinda talks directly after you, like it cuts off the entire like first section. So like every time that you would talk right after him, it's just like the whole sentence is gone because of like Discord being weird, I think.
Oh, shit, really?
It's fine. It's like we caught the tail end of it, but I'm like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah, some of your lines did cut off at the beginning.
Oh, so it was working at the end?
It like started like 2 or 3 words after is when it would pick you up.
Ah!
Yeah. I said you should get push to talk too, but
I can't do that and read easily.
That's exactly the problem. It's the damn push to talk.
Is there a way to like let me see if I can change that setting.
Set like priority, like turn off priority volume or something.
How do I do that?
I have no idea.
Ah.
But yeah,
I forgot what the settings a bit.
you're like reading the lines. It's like it's got like exclamation points. You're like, yes, we're going to do it. I'm going to become a god.
The god of all princesses.
Hell yeah.
I figured out that if I sit differently, I can read a lot better.
It does make a big difference.
So I made my screen a lot the size of my thing better.
Yeah.
Is it better now?
I think so.
Sound quieter.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, chapter 3.
But yeah, what I was gonna say, it's like there's like not enough breath. You're like going so low that I can hear it. It's like there's you're like
Oh no, that's just me pausing on purpose.
but it's like it's I can taste the breath in the air. It's it's good.
I mean that's how he talks.
Yeah, it's fucking good.
Cam,
Oh my god.
do you still want to be Zemnis or
Yes.
okay?
Okay.
Because like I can barely hear you when you're talking, and I have everyone else turned up so I can hear them too, and it's difficult.
Yeah, you gotta produce. You gotta fucking spread your voice. You gotta throw the voice at the computer.
Yeah, I had to get closer to my mic there at the end.
I have it as close as possible.
You're really quiet.
You just have to speak louder, Cat, like with more energy.
Eat your microphone, basically.
Devour the microphone. Just consume it.
More
You know,
air in
between
your
2
words.
pieces of bread and eat it.
Eat microphone. It's the only way. You got to eat the microphone.
Consume electricity. Okay, yeah, there you
I'm
go.
on top of it right now.
There you go. That's good.
I
So anyway,
that's that's how Nomura intended.
go, Lord Dragon. Take all the pretty princess's hair's power.
Beautiful. Yes. Zemnis clearly uses push to speak. Okay, okay. I think I accidentally turned you off in the recording, and I don't know how to put it back on. No, like just now as I was messing around with things. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did, but like I'm not getting the audio from anybody else but myself. Shoot. I don't know what I did. So that might have been what I did. Let me fix that real quick. No, 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 no. It was just now. It was just now I did it. But it's not picking you up now. Like at all. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did, but okay, I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. I did something wrong. I done No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. Okay. Uh, okay, sorry. Ah, I don't know how to get you guys back. Come back. Okay. I know. Okay, can you continue talking so I can make sure that it's working? Just make noise. Maybe not that much. It's not working. Okay. What the hell did I do? Ah! Uh, hmm. Okay. Oh, I know what happened because I went to Discord to change my stupid settings and it changed it in my recording thing too. Because Discord loves me. Okay. Hopefully it works now. Let me see if it. Uh. Well, I can hear you, but my thing's not picking you up. Yeah, because fucking course, I love you, Discord. I really do. Try to talk. Okay. No, it's not. You're still. Yeah, it's still not picking you up. Dang it. It's because I mess with the volumes in Discord, of course, because. Alright. So there's just gonna be like several minute recording of me attempting to figure out how to open volume. Ah, really? Well, it's okay, but it's like I'm really upset. Re. So, okay. So, that was 7 hours. Okay, so wait a second. On OBS, which one is the one that records the audio from the input? Would that be? No, I don't have one labeled speaker. That's not helpful. I don't know what. I'm using Streamlabs OBS. What is it called? Like, what is the audio? The audio. Because I keep adding audio output captures, and I can't figure out what it's supposed to be recording. Is it supposed to be recording my speakers, my display audio, or the headphones? That's the speakers. Okay. They're plugged in. Am I not supposed to have my headphones plugged in? If I don't have my headphones plugged in, I can't hear. Ugh. Yeah, it's... I'm using my headphones. Okay. This is really frustrating because it was working before, and then, freaking Discord. God, I love technical issues. Yeah. Because my computer's dumb. Okay.
Plus also her microphone, so I can actually hear her in turn.
I got that's working. That's working, but the other thing isn't working.
Go to like
Ugh.
check the properties on the limit.
I'm doing that. Okay, so
I'll text it again. Just click it, make sure it's the right one.
no, it is. It is the right one. I checked. It's the right one.
Just unplug and replug it.
I did that already.
Shit, I don't know.
For fuck's sake.
Okay. I'll
I can't believe you've done this.
I'm sorry. It wasn't me. I'll, okay.
I can't believe this tort's done this.
Okay. What have I done wrong? What do I do?
One second. Okay, go to your audio mixer.
Yeah, I'm here in the audio mixer.
Scroll up.
Yeah, I scrolled up. Is it desktop audio?
Yes, it should probably be your desktop audio.
Yeah, and then it's... Yeah, it doesn't work. It was working before.
Okay, delete everything except for your mic audio.
Mic aux. Like, over here.
Alright, hold on, stop talking. Let's see. Yeah, okay, none of those are picking up though. Yeah, get rid of all those.
How do I get rid of them?
Oh, just delete them from remove at the top. And you pick a cog wheel.
What is this?
You're sharing just OBS, not your whole screen, so we're not seeing anything that's like popping up in pop-ups.
Oh. Oh, okay.
No, delete the audio output.
In Mixer or over here?
In the mixer.
I don't know how to delete them in the Mixer.
You hit the cog wheel at the top, it says remove.
It doesn't...
No, the other cog wheel, the one next to the volume. At the tippy top of the pop out, it says remove. There you go.
Okay, okay.
So remove all those except for your input one or your aux.
Okay, so the desktop audio is supposed to be you guys, right?
Yes.
Why isn't it working?
Go to properties.
Oh, so I need to share my entire screen? Yeah, it's headphones, high definition. Yeah, I put it there. I put it there. What do you mean? Okay, I don't, can you, what am I supposed to do? I'm confused. Yeah, I know. I'm not. I'm trying to. Yeah, the audio. Don't ignore the picture. The audio is all we're trying to do.
Okay, so now go to the desktop audio.
Yeah.
Hit the cog wheel.
I hit the cogwheel.
Properties.
I went to properties.
Okay, so now what pops up when you hit properties?
It says device, speakers, high definition audio device, C2 for I don't know what the hell that is. Intel R display audio.
Okay, so just test each one of those.
Okay, it's not working now. Talk. It's still not working. Ugh. That's all of them. I just tried all of them. So what do I need to do?
Okay, so
Your next
so
thing,
where it says,
setting up the Windows, what does it say for your headphones?
well, no, because if he's hearing us, then it should be picked up by OBS.
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you.
So where it says mixer,
Yes, volume mixer.
no, in OBS mixer.
Yeah,
Go to the cog wheel to the right, yeah, that one.
this big one.
Yeah, the big one.
Okay.
Now go to the audio output. Let me see. Let me open mine.
Monitor and output, or
Might be monitor and output.
okay, I hit it. Talk.
Let's see.
It didn't do anything. Why is there always techni? Yeah, that's all. That's the sources of the visual. No, oh my, no. Basically, these are additional sources. So the mixer has the two default sources, which is the microphone and the thingy. Yeah, I tried that. That's what I've been doing. Oh my god. I deleted them because I was told to delete them like a second ago. And headphones.
No, go to the one that says desktop audio, and hit the other one first, and then just do a completely new one.
Ugh. Why? Why are there always technical difficulties? Okay. Talk. Say something. It doesn't work. Ugh. I'm so mad. I don't know. I was just doing what I was. Ugh. Say something. Okay, nope, it doesn't work. Ugh. Try now. Nope. Ugh. Why isn't it working? It was working before, and then Discord did the thingy McBob. Okay. What did I do? What did I do? How do I take it out of performance mode? Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna